What's going on, guys? SpiLLi here again, today to bring you another mouse review. It's probably what I'm gonna review a lot on this channel. I do have all sorts of gear, uh, mostly geared towards competitive gaming, a lot of FPS style gaming, but it will really work for most games. Gonna give you some brief overviews. I have a bunch of different mech keyboards, headsets, all sorts of different peripherals. So today we are jumping into one of the most widely used and widely popular competitive gaming mice out there from a pretty well-known competitive brand, and that is going to be the Zowie FK1. It's basically ambidextrous mouse. It is probably the most one, or if not the most popular CS:GO mouse, definitely one of them. And it is a dang work of art. I will say that much. That this thing has a ton of things that I love about it, and there's only really one thing that kind of holds me back from using it. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. So basically, you'll notice the shape. Like I said, fully ambidextrous. It has the two side buttons here. Normal mouse 1, mouse 2, mouse wheel, no extra buttons, kind of like the G502 would have or something like that. And that's what's great about Zowie, is they make very simplistic stuff. This one is definitely a tribute to that. And we'll just jump right into what I think makes this a great mouse for just about anybody. So number one, the design of it, the ambidextrous shape. It just fits the hand really well. It's a really great size. I even have small hands. I still think it fits really well in my hand. I mean, it's a nice shape. I have, like I said, small hands, about 17 and a half centimeters. It still fits really well. Palm grip, claw, fingertip, anything like that. It's really gonna work. Next thing is, I love that it is driverless. That is a big plus for me. I just don't like really any of the software out there right now, from Meonix to Razer to SteelSeries, and I can't really find that I like any of them. It is, like I said, completely driverless. A big plus I do like on here, there is no DPI button on the top. This is like one of the only mice that has this. DPI button is on the bottom. It's right here. It'll cycle through a bunch of colors in this little LED right here. I believe it has 4 or 5 preset settings. It's like 400, 800, 1600, 3200. I believe that's it. But yeah, it's great. I love that it's on the bottom. It happens very rarely with other mice, but I have occasionally, like in game, accidentally hit a DPI button that's like on the top of the mouse, and my aim just flicks all over the place, trying to switch it back quickly. Another great thing about it, and a thing that I kind of mentioned in maybe like my final mouse review video, no braided cord. This type of cord, it bends well, it doesn't clump, it doesn't get stiff like the braided cords do, and it doesn't tend to fray. I know the braided cords look nice, and sometimes people weirdly enough relate this to being kind of a cheaper style, but I love it. This is how I think all competitive mice should be. Yeah, I like the non-braided cord. That's great. Get into a little bit more. The scroll wheel is really nice. I think it has a nice, good amount of tactile feedback. I don't know if you can kind of hear that. It's definitely a nice scroll wheel. Not too much elevation from the mouse, but decent enough. Definitely a little bit higher than like the final mouse that I just earlier reviewed. I think it's in a good spot. Other than that, we will go into kind of why I actually don't use this mouse on the regular basis. And for those of you who don't know, I play Counter-Strike at a decently high level, and this is the reason I don't use this mouse. It has what they call Huano switches in the mouse 1 and mouse 2 buttons, and they're just coupled with the very hard plastic shell, which actually probably gives it a very nice feel to it, but it's a very hard plastic shell, thick plastic on here, coupled with these switches, which are definitely heavier than like the Omron switches. It's a very, very tough click. It's a very heavy click. Kind of imagine comparing this for you Mac keyboard users to using like black switches or something like that. It's just very, very heavy, which to me, in my personal experience, gives me a little bit of self-input lag that I don't get with the other mice. Yeah, that's really my only knock on this mouse. Other than that, this thing would be perfect. There is the new Zowie benQ versions that do have the Omron switches, but I've heard they still have the very thick shell, which still gives them the pretty heavy click. I really want to grab one to try it out, so I might end up doing that just because this mouse is super nice. I mean, it is everything that you could ever ask for in a competitive gaming mouse. The mouse skates are beautiful. This is how mouse skates should look. Other companies take note. Big. They glide really well. Probably the best in the industry. Other than that, yeah. I mean, this is the Zowie FK1. I would probably rate it somewhere a 9 out of 10 if you can get past the really heavy switches, which tons of professionals do. It is a great mouse. I mean, couldn't really ask for much more. And that'll do it. We'll look forward to getting into hopefully the Scream 1 edition soon of the final mouse whenever I get that in. Yeah, for more reviews, more content, go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment if you have any questions, and it's been good talking to you guys. SpiLLi out.